How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews. Back with yet another review. Yeah, buddy. Back with Joe. How you doing, Joe?
Good. How are you?
Having fun.
Yeah. I've heard you joke about this before, but this is the first time for reviews that, like, non-podcast that my bald ass head gets to be on. Reviews.
Joe's
I took the hat off.
Chrome Dome is on for display. Hopefully, my lighting doesn't cancel out the camera with the refractions, and it's science. Yeah. Anyway, last review of the night, we're going to be doing a little Deschutes action. Their Jubel. Have you ever had the Jubel Ale, which is their winter warmer?
No, I haven't.
I assume this is some kind of tweaked or beefed up version of that. That's fair.
I would assume so as well, just from
name?
well, that and like the way that they kind of do this whole thing, like Black Butte 20
Mirror,
whatever,
Mirror and Mirror Pond and all that stuff. So
like that's kind of their thing.
Their thing.
Their shtick, if you will.
So it's their Jubel 2015. It's an ale with 50% of it aged in Pino in Oregon oak barrels. Whatever that means. 10.4% alcohol by volume. It is best after January 23rd, 2016, so we should drink pour it right now. Yes. Because it's too soon to drink.
Don't bother.
On the side here, it says, affectionately referred to as Super Jubel. The Jubel 2015 is an imperial take on our festive winter ale. Notes of toasted caramel, raisin, dates, figs are complemented by spicy and herbal hop aromas. Originally planned as a once-in-a-decade ale, we just couldn't wait another 5 years. So there you go. Label-wise, it's cool. Deschutes labels, I'm a fan. They actually just rebranded their whole line.
Really?
Yeah, they're from top to bottom. Like they, I was lucky enough to get a beer mail from Deschutes. They sent me their Black Butte, their Mirror Pond, and one other hop. Pine Drops is what it is. Okay. Or their Pine IPA, and it's just she was like, okay, we're rebranding our whole line, so I'm going to send you our core stuff. And super excited to give this a whirl. This was not sent to me. This I picked up on a little trip to Pittsburgh I just did this weekend. So super excited to crack it open. See what this sucker has to offer. Awesome wine key with a wax cutter on it. Oh, who would have thunk it of actually putting a wax cutter on a wine key and make my life so simple? Look at this.
Actually like a...
Look at that now. Life is so much easier now.
It
Look at that. Oh, that would have normally taken us 15 minutes to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, who would have known? Thank you very much. 32 via the beer for that little wine key right there. And, it works perfectly. So let's see.
Excellent.
Ooh, it's got a nice, funky haziness to it.
Yes, it does.
It looks like a winter warmer, absolutely, but it's got this really cloudy murkiness. On the pour, you can't really see it in the beer itself, but when it's pouring, you can actually absolutely see it. Pretty uniform head, actually. Infinitely creaminess. Like the bubbles are so compact, it's like microscopic.
Really tight.
Yeah, so I mean, it's got a nice reddish, orangish, yellowish kind of hue on the edge of it. You can get the ever so slightest bit of color out of it, like just like barely out of it. But yeah, I mean, she's dark. She looks pretty damn awesome. So yeah, get a nose on her. Yeah, you're getting those nice Christmas spices. I'm getting a little bit of cinnamon. I'm getting a little bit of allspice, but I'm also getting like a nice, I want to say caramel with an actual caramel malt, like a nice maltiness.
I'm also getting like kind of a wine character. I can't really peg. I would assume red wine.
Yeah, and that thing, Pinot Noir barrels are.
It just says Pinot. It could be anything.
So it could be it could be anything. But
it could be white or red.
It's a very robust. It's not light. It's not bright. It smells like winter. It smells like Christmas.
Which would make me assume red wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that smells awesome. Yeah, let's just drink this shit. Cheers. Well, that doesn't suck.
Nope.
That's spicy malt heaven.
Yeah.
It's like a super caramel kind of malt. This is almost like, I don't know, man. It's an American mad scientist version of a Belgian double. Is what it is. Tastes like to me, like some kind of Christmas Belgian ale that it was kind of fucking fucked with.
That's a really good way of putting it. Honestly.
that's what I'm getting from it. I'm getting this like weird kind of Belgian Christmas ale, but then someone just fucked with it crazy.
Yeah. I think there's like a beyond the kind of like Christmassy spices, there's another spiciness to it, and I think the Oregon oak barrels were fresh oak.
You're definitely getting an oak can in there, and it's not a negative oak can. It's almost like sometimes when you get a West Coast IPA or even whatever it is, if you get a dank pine forward IPA, you get this kind of like palate smacking bitterness, and that oak is giving you that little bit of dryness.
Yeah.
That makes you want to go back and take another fucking sip. It works. It's not overpowering. It's not invasive. It's there for a reason, and it works because you have so much sweetness and so much decadence with that kind of sweet
like,
dates
even,
fake
like
caramelness.
Fresh oak for me can kind of be a little off. The only I think the only other real like actual fresh oak beer that I've had was one of the variations on Bois from
The white oak.
The fresh oak Bois from the brewery.
So white oak is what it's called, right?
I don't know.
I think it's called white.
No,
oak.
white oak I think is something different. I think that's like the wheat wine.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, but this was like one. You know how like they'll put out Bois or like Black Tuesday or whatever, and they'll have the shit ton of variations on it.
I know what you're talking about. Like just a
there was
plain
like
straight up oak version
there was
of
like
it without
a fresh
booze.
oak. There was a fresh oak version of
saying.
that, and that was at like one of the things that John did.
Yes.
And my dad actually came to that one. That was pretty cool. But it reminds me, like that fresh oak kind of spiciness reminds me a little bit of that. But there's more going on in it than just the fresh oak.
Yeah, it's a fun fucking beer. This is actually, I thought it was gonna be good because people that I've talked to said Jubel is a really good beer, and I didn't think it was gonna be this good. And the fact that it says weight on it is kind of weird because I think it's drinking pretty damn good right now. So
Yeah.
if they want it, I'm sure they're going for balance.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very impactful beer right now. It's like the oak is huge. The spices are big.
Really there.
The sweetness, you're getting that kind of like reduced burnt brown sugar kind of datey figgy kind of thing going on, and it's all very big and not super cohesive. But I think it works. So I think it's actually not a bad thing to drink now. But I'm definitely gonna try to procure another bottle and wait on it and see what.
I would be really interested to see what happens with this with age. If everything kind of, I could only assume from their thinking that everything will kind of like smooth out together.
Yeah.
Like not one thing. It's like if you have like a spiced ale that's also oaked in a red wine, and I'm assuming a fresh oak barrel, you could sometimes have like the spices will drop, but the other two will still be there.
Yeah.
And after a while, this oak barrel will drop, but the other one will still be like it's going to drop in stages. I could only imagine that Deschutes has this honed in to where they can assume that everything's going to fall and kind of even out at the same time.
Yeah. That's the weird thing. They say wait until 6 months from now to give it a whirl. 4 months from now to give it a whirl. I actually think this is good now, and I would like to try this with like 5 years on it, not just 6 months on it. Like I think it's gonna be okay. It'll be okay. It might dip a little bit, but I think it might take off with some ample amount of time. Either way, I think it's absolutely fantastic beer. The Deschutes Wax Top series from their Black Butte to the Abyss, and they're not the Stoic.
I haven't had either of those beers.
That is fucking... Which one?
Not either the Abyss or not
okay.
the Stoic.
The Not the Stoic was fucking enlightening. It was that fucking good. On a ranking scale, I would go probably Not the Stoic, this, Black Butte, and then the Abyss. And that's just me. And that's just
you're talking about like the Black Butte anniversary series.
Yeah, not the base beer.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the wax top versions. Mm-hmm. But all of them are pretty good. I mean, they don't really fuck around when it comes to their wax top stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, rating wise, I'm doing a whole not rating thing now and just actually like sitting there and talking about the beer. Would I buy this again? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Will I buy it again? Yes. Am I going to buy it again? Yes. They're both two. There's two different stories. Would I? Yes. Am I? Yes. The price point's a little bit shitty. It's the Deschutes Wax Top Series. In my area, I'm usually looking anywhere between $18 to $20 a bottle.
Yep,
so that kind of
sounds
sucks.
about right.
So that kind of sucks, but again, it's kind of worth it. I would love to see this around $15. At $15 a bottle, I would be like, yeah, buddy. You know what I mean? And really, it's a bomber, so it should be anywhere between 10 to 12. But 18 to $20 kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's good enough to where you're
at the same time, it's kind of worth that money because you could easily fall into a trap of like, oh, this super hyped beer is $18 to $20 a bottle, and you get it and like, this is not very good.
Yeah,
and it's not worth that money. This is definitely, for me, first off, never even really hearing about this beer. Like, I knew about Not the Stoic, I knew about the Abyss, the Black Butte Anniversary, and Mirror Mirror. This was one that was kind of off my radar. So for like, oh, here's another addition to that Wax Top series, like, all right, yeah, this is definitely worth that money.
Yeah. So I definitely pick it up again. The price point sucks, but at the same time, I'd still buy it at that price point. The flavors that are delivering fresh, let alone not aged or off the hook, and it's just really good, man. This is a good fucking beer.
Yeah.
I feel like what way like this, the kind of what I said at the beginning. If you're big into Christmassy Belgian beers, you like your winter warmers, you like your Christmas Belgian beers, but you want to kick it up a fucking notch. You want to go a little bit more robust. You want some barrel aging involved. That's kind of where this sits. This is very Christmassy to me. It tastes like Christmas, but it's also a really good beer. It's not like a gimmick beer, like a pumpkin ale or some winter warmers get a little gimmicky. It's just really, really good. So if you're into those kind of beers, you'll love this.
Yeah, I think if you're the kind of person that's bought everything Wax Top from Deschutes, I don't think you'll be disappointed with this. Also, I think if you like spiced beers in general and you like seeing a brewery kind of really play around with different barreling and blending barrels, because the interesting thing, I don't know how not the Stoic or the Abyss is, but all of the beers from this series that I've had, they're only half aged in any kind of barrel.
They're blended with
they're
like
blended,
a little bit in this one, a little bit in that one, and then
yeah. But that's like they're half of the beer is aged in a barrel.
Yeah,
and as opposed to 100% of the beer being aged in a barrel, and that's a really interesting technique that I don't think a lot of breweries do. Some probably do, but don't really advertise it as much, or if they do, it's blending all of the same. It's all bourbon, but bourbon from Heaven Hills, Four Roses, Maker's Mark, Buffalo Trace, and they're
whatever barrels they can get.
just whatever barrels they can get, and that's like they don't really need to advertise that blending.
Yeah, well, it's similar to like what Firestone Walker does when they actually take their beers and they take bits and pieces and blend them together, whether it be anniversary or whatever, like, or even there's even some local breweries, semi-local to us that like what's it? Russian Duck takes like their dog bollocks, or they take that and do like 60-40, or you have was it Boulevard with the Rye and Rye, where it's like, okay, we're taking 71% of this, and, you know what I mean?
Like the Boulevard beers are like all right, Deschutes has given us a clean number. It's 50%. Boulevard is like, this is like 61.25% aged in rye whiskey barrels, and then the rest of it is just straight up rye beer.
Yeah, but anyway, it's a fun beer. It's absolutely Christmas-like. So if you can pick it up, especially as a Christmas beer, this is just like something I'd love to share with people around a dinner table for Christmas at like dessert time or something like that. Just absolutely worth picking up. So there you go. I like the beer. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review as much as we did. If you did or you didn't or whatever, do the whole thing down there and subscribe. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on tap, Master Beers. All four of those places if you want to check me out anywhere else. If you would like to check Joseph out somewhere else, how would they find you?
NEPAbeerreviews.squarespace.com. Also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at NEPAbeerreviews.
There you go. We're drinking beer, having fun, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice multiple barrel aged blended winter spice ale right now, and hope to see you next time. Cheers.